That's an interesting question because, you know, if one would do a character study of Mr. Ramalinga Raju, why did he do it? Did he think that the law would never catch up with him? Was he just greedy?
No, I think
or was he just foolish?
Sagarika, my feeling is that the company was going to come up for sale. And all these questions would have come through in any due diligence which any buyer would have really exercised in the light of the kind of issues that Metas had thrown up. Here you had a set of independent directors resigning on the 29th of December. You had issues where the market capitalization of the company was declining day in and day out. And you had a situation where his personal stake in the company was almost down to 1 or 2% because the people whom he had pledged his shares to had gone ahead and sold. So his personal stake in the company was going lower and lower. And effectively, the question would have always arisen that those who had invested in the organization, the FIIs, the private equity players who had looked into the company and put in their money, would have come to a situation of wanting to sell. And all this would have come out.
You know, I want to supplement what Mr. Shardul Shroff has said. The so-called independent directors, were they independent?
What did they do? Did they just make up the numbers?
I mean, were they having a nice party at these board meetings? I mean, we already have certain amount of evidence coming that a particular gentleman who heads a well-known business school, that it was perhaps not a coincidence that, you know, he happened to be a so-called independent director, but his business school was also receiving fairly generous donations from Satyam. So perhaps, I mean, this whole...
so it's an orchestra of corruption. So is it? You were mentioning that there's the auditor, there's the independent director, there are elements within the government. This is an entire, it's a labyrinthine architecture of corruption we're looking at here.
Absolutely. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let's play soothsayers for a while. Premchand Gupta comes out and gives you a soundbite saying action will be taken as per the law. The law is as flexible as you want to make it out to be. You know, SEBI now gets into damage control mode. You then suddenly begin to analyze what's going to happen to auditors. I'm saying make it demonstrable, lock these guys up. Tell people in India that you can't fool around with public money, with public trust, and destroy both trust, money in the same process. Finally, I have a bigger issue here. We are, and I've said this before, we are getting into a situation where to embrace quick money, we are following devious routes of getting there. So it's not the means but the end that matters. And the end almost always matters in an analyst's mind to see how the stock is faring. So when you keep the stakes so high, when you erect crosses on which the crucifixion will take place on the basis of how your stock fares rather than the honesty with which you run your businesses, you are changing the paradigm of measurement. And today what's unfortunately happened in India, because of our newness as far as embracing the riches are concerned, is we've changed that paradigm. So today, if you're rich, you will be worshipped. If you're rich, you will get away.
Okay,
if you're rich, you will have the finest lawyers, other than perhaps Shardul Shroff, defending you. So you will get away.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back.
I know is value driven.
Right, we're going to come back
there aren't
precisely.
Many in that profession who are.
We'll come back precisely to that point after this very tiny break. Stay with us.
The greatest scam which in recent times which our country has seen so far. Along with Mr. Raju, I think the independent directors also owe the responsibility of this.
What is the real myth? I am unable to sleep now. In the whole night, I have lost all my money. What I have made the money in the last 2-3 years, it has gone in just today in fraction of 3 hours.